has a lot of Factorio in this small amount of time.
Which for me is quite a lot, because that's probably more hours of a video game I played by myself, like not including our streams or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But just on my own that I've played in the last like 3 or 4 months combined.
Are you saying that you're not a gamer, Sean?
It's not a solo gamer.
Not really.
He's not a solo gamer. He's a team gamer.
He's a multiplayer
I don't know.
gamer.
I feel like I always go in waves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is for a very long time now, ever since high school. I play games in waves. And so that's why I don't know if that counts as being a gamer, but
Also, speaking of other games, DRG is going to do an update pretty soon, and we could play some of that. They've gotten like new guns and stuff.
Oh, that's an older game. Yeah,
I actually played
that we played together.
Of that.
It's like been a year or two.
The other week, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a couple new modes, and that was kind of it. That's kind of the only thing I noticed that was different.
I think it's a fun game.
It's a fun casual
It
game.
is fun.
It's like a casual gamer, sit back, chill game.
Do a couple things. I just like did the build crafting in it. Like we've talked about this before, but like that's one of my favorite things about like those types of games in general is just the opportunity to build craft and like have like really interesting ways and methods of playing the game, right? Like that's what I really like about Destiny is that you have certain builds.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
there's like this sync, right? For instance, in Deep Rock, right, you've got like the different overclocks, and that you can create like your own build, and like they'll like create this like synergy between like your secondary and primary. That's really fun.
I haven't even gotten that far in the game. I don't even think I'm that far in the leveling system. Like I got a little far and haven't gone any further than that. Like, cause I just played that game with you guys too.
Yeah, I played that one. I'm like a level 150 in that.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't tend to do that much in games, or build craft. How would you say? What'd you call it?
Build crafting. Yeah.
Build crafting. Yeah, I don't tend to do that much in games because I don't usually play games that have that, or if they do, I just don't like. I guess you could say, does Apex have that?
I don't.
Not really.
Think so.
Kind of like, I guess like you have like specific favorite weapons, but yeah, you're right.
It's like during the match you build craft.
Yeah, and there's like some synergy between like different characters, but otherwise, it's not really build crafty.
I mean, Factorio, for example, because it's on my mind. You can't. You don't have different builds in the sense that you interact with people like that. But there's 1,000 different ways to do one thing.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah.
And or 1,000 ways to optimize, or 1,000,000 ways to optimize of what you're doing. So in that sense, that's a lot of fun. But I don't tend to do the.
Think about build crafting as optimizing a certain play style or optimizing a certain like method. For instance, like in Destiny, you have like one of the classes is like a void, so it's like all about like gravity and shit, and you can like you use like certain armor sets to help optimize that. Like what's the one? Nezarac's Sin is one of the like armor pieces, and it just basically makes when you deal any void damage, it makes you regen like energy faster. Like basically your cooldowns are a lot shorter, so you like do that, and you can do some really fun stuff with that. I was also playing another one with like there's like this arc thing that basically allows you to have like this little buddy that flies around you that shoots like lightning at enemies. And like that is really fun to like build around, because it's like having like just a little turret essentially that does all your work for you.
Oh,
and you can,
yeah.
like, focus on like primary DPS.
Yeah, I mean, while there is all that capability, let's say in Factorio and these other games, doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I mean, like there's a set limit, a soft limit of how much min-maxing I like to do in a game before it becomes unfun for me.
But don't you find it really fun to be like hyper efficient in Factorio or something like that? I know for me, Satisfactory, like I've never played Factorio, but I've played Satisfactory, very similar game. And it's like, oh my gosh, like optimizing my like machines, and my production lines to be 100% efficient is like, it scratches an itch that's like part of my soul.
For me, it's not 100%. That's not my goal.
You
My
don't
goal
look
is
for
to work.
perfection?
My goal is to have a second job.
I do not seek perfection at all. So it's I seek 70%, let's say.
Yeah. You
Like it just needs to work and,
Yeah.
and continue to work without my supervision.
Yeah.
And I'm good to go.
Test.
you're a
So
satisficer,
completed.
not a maximizer.
No, I don't find pleasure in maximizing.
Okay.
It's I don't know. It's one of those. It's weird that I like games like that, yet don't take them
Fully.
You could say all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're also a maximizer in other ways. Like for instance, I mean, I think that plays true to everyone, where they're a maximizer in certain ways and a satisfier in others. Like for you, quality, you always try to maximize quality, like of your environment / like
True, like
audio,
music, sound quality, but there's usually a limiting factor in that, even if I don't always still try. Like money, is obviously the limiting
Money.
factor.
Yeah.
Like
I think
I
money's
will
the
try and maximize it per my dollar value.
Yeah.
There's- money is an option or is a
It's a
a
constraint.
tool. Yeah. It's like
what's that saying? Like money is no option, money is no consequence.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But-
Money
Trying to
doesn't
reverse
grow
the
on
phrase.
trees.
Yeah. What about you, Colton?
Yeah.
What do you like to maximize / satisfy?
I was
What
thinking
is,
about that. As far as like gaming, honestly,
well, just across the
feel
board,
like-
in
I feel
in
like
life.
Colton across the board doesn't maximize. He's just pure.
my
satisfaction.
maximizing is almost like a very selfish based thing. Like I maximize. I'm just thinking of like my job and stuff. I maximize like learning, like me learning something new and taking on new skills. But I don't need to maximize the skills. Sometimes I just like to maximize the rate at which I learn new things and apply somewhere else. So
So
sometimes,
you like to maximize growth.
yeah, it's almost, I guess so. In certain aspects, it's almost like, to a degree, it's like quantity over quality in a lot of ways for me. But if I really
That's
like
usually
something,
what a mechanical engineer is.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I really like something, I'll funnel it and try to maximize that area. But I like learning new things and diversifying. So I guess maximizing diversification instead of maximizing like niche areas, I think is how I usually like to be, personally at least. But yeah,
But is there anything like truly in like where you're like looking through it? It's like, okay, this is something I 100% am a maximizer of. Like, I want to like not so much like
Or rephrasing it, what is something you would always spend money on?
me,
not always spend money on.
what I always
I feel that's a very similar question. though.
maximizing travel. I would travel like 2 to 3 times a year, like internationally, if I could. Definitely would.
Yeah. Or
And
like,
that-
is there an area where you're perfectionist in, where like you always want to be like extremely like precise / or
It depends. It's
Do you
like
have any-
if it's like the hobby, if it's like I'm really trying to do something, if I'm working on something, like any of my tasks that have like a big impact, I'll try to maximize it. Like a lot of my, I don't know, like the engineering jobs, or if I was doing audio work with like my microphone stuff, I would like probably do a lot of like post processing with that stuff, as opposed to just like saying, okay, that's good. I'll just kind of throw it together, even though that might be the better way to do it, because you get only so much out of it. If I'm like really passionate about something, I'll probably over edit it, mess with it.
yeah.
To
So like
get
in
it,
any of your creative
precise.
pursuits, then.
Yeah, a lot of, I don't know, lame, but a lot of my engineering presentations, I go way overboard, way more in depth than anyone else at like that's like kind of like doing the same job as me, just because I like to make colorful presentations and I like to like have I want to like explain it to different types of people,
Yeah.
not just
Dude, do you use
one
the
type of
like
person.
the design ideas in PowerPoint?
Sometimes, yeah. Honestly, I'll do design ideas. I'll just look at other templates and make my own little templates if I can.
Yeah. Dude,
So
that was one thing, innovation, like, at least this was back at MSU, that everyone's like, oh my gosh, your presentations are so cool. I'm like, dude, I just use design ideas.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
this looks kind of cool.
You're like, oh, this is
and it's
great.
like, it takes 5 minutes, but it's like,
They give
but
you.
I don't know if I've heard of this.
It's like
yeah,
a.
there's a,
Or go ahead, Mike.
it's like a
You
tab
use it most.
it's a tab in PowerPoint that basically allows you to go design ideas, and as long as you're like you have your stuff structured correctly with like bullet points and stuff like that, it'll really auto generate like a format for you. So you'll have like cool designs and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of different themes and templates for it, and you can just go, I want to pick this. It applies to your entire presentation, or if you want to apply it to specific slides, you can. And it's just like, again, 5-15 minutes, and it's like, oh, done. This, and it looks 1,000% better than your like white page with
with like you're just
you'd always choose a default template. You don't just do a white page.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the formatting also can be a lot different, and you can just use that to modify something. Like you can get close and then make it kind of your own too.
Yeah, and you can have like the same theme, but like different like slight formats changes between slides that make them visually interesting to look at.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a good little tip for anyone who has to do any kind of like business or work project. It maximizes your
creativity.
Your time.
Yeah,
and it makes it look pretty good without having to put too much like crazy like effort and like editing into it.
Yeah.
Because frankly, that's one thing I don't maximize is like super, like, I'm like, it doesn't need to be like crazy detailed stuff like that. I want more of the.
It doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to maximize life. Just want to have fun. Let's just maximize life.
Truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Go ahead, Mike. I'm just rambling.
Well, I was actually going to bring us in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Saying, since we kind of started already, but welcome to Almost a Podcast. This is your host, Mike. And I'm joined with my two lads here, Colton and Sean.
Hello.
Maximization.
I am
master.
I'm maximized.
Over here.
I'm maximized on life. I'm high on life. I'm maximized on life.
Yep. Satisficing simp Sean and maximizing master Mike and
chill Colton.
Chill
Colton.
Chill something. Colton,
something chilling out like a villain out.
Yep.
And
you have the whole podcast.
Mine empty.
Right,
yep. There we go.
So yeah, I mean, talking about that, one of the topics I did want to talk about today was, when we were like playing Sea of Thieves, right? One thing that stood out to me is that it's got a very horizontal progression, meaning that there's literally no progression in the entire game besides cosmetic. It got me thinking to like what's that drive, right, to play the game, because there's no true like progression, right, besides like you progress in like certain areas.
I think it's just like an experience.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in the game, I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. You know, like just seeing, because I mean, I think that's the whole thing with from a young age, everyone's just fascinated with pirate life, or at least a lot of people are, I think. So you get to do that, and you're like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I'm a pirate. You're kind of semi nostalgia reliving it. It's definitely not something I would do for many hours, but it's fun to jump in and be like, oh, this is really cool.
Play with
mess
friends.
Around with some people, fire on some ships.
Yeah.
But
like
Minecraft's like that.
Yeah. Getting into the cosmetic side, though.
Real progression in Minecraft.
Yeah. Getting the cosmetic side, though, it brought me back to the thought of like luxury items, like / like status, because I feel like that's like the draw when it comes to getting that stuff. Like getting, you got like XYZ, the rare skin or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Same goes for like Apex, where it's a free to play game. There's fairly horizontal progression. Obviously, you get more characters the more you play, right? You can get like the stuff.
Yeah.
But like, what's the draw for that? Like getting the skins and stuff like that.
I think.
Well, I don't like cosmetics in the sense that for the status, it's like, it's ultra rare and is 1 in 100 million. If I don't like the look of it, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
And it's not for a status thing. Like there's a lot of things in Sea of Thieves that I was like, wow, that's super expensive. It looks terrible. Why would I would I ever equip that?
Yeah, but why would you pay real money for an in-game digital asset that has literally, there's like no effect, right? It's not like a pay-to-win situation where if you're playing a game and you can like buy something to help you progress, right?
Well, at the same time, I'm sorry to hog this if you had more thoughts, Colton. But
Go ahead, finish your thoughts.
For Fortnite, for example, right? That thing's built on cosmetics the same way Apex is. And there was one season where there was this muscular cat dude, like the face of a cat, but he was like this ripped dude.
Okay.
And it was like a skin that you could wear. And I was like, man, I really want that. That's super cool. And I considered spending money on it, but then I thought, I don't want to spend money on this. But like, it's the closest I have been to wanting to spend money on a cosmetic thing,
And that was Fortnite?
But then you look at the price tag and I'm like, man, $25?
$25 for a freaking skin?
Well, it was like to do the season pass, which would
let you
essentially unlock it for you.
Oh, I see.
Among other things. But it's one of those things where I don't, like, there's a limit, but I can see the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the appeal is not great enough. But I know I can see where people then would want it,
Yeah, it's really hard. For me, cosmetics, to spend money on something like that, I have to be really into the game or really into whatever the franchise is. So no game recently comes to mind where I would, grind for cosmetics, even if you could get them without spending money. But when I was really into League, I spent money on League to get skins, and I don't regret that at all, just because I was so into the game. And I really liked some characters. Honestly, it was a free game. I played it all the time, and the skins were like $5 a piece or something like that. So I don't know. Me and my brother, there was like a stint of a year or two where for each other's birthday, we'd get each other like $20 League gift cards, and we'd spend it all on skins. And that's like the only time
I've
ever spent money on skins like that, just because I was super into the game and I really liked the characters. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I have not been that into a game where I've been wanting to spend money like that for skins lately. It's just not something that's usually super driving for me. It's like, I'll pay for it, but like Sea of Thieves, I mean, it brings up a good question. Like, how long will I actually want to play the game long term? I mean, I wouldn't play it alone, like you guys have said. I wouldn't play it at all alone. But when do we be like, oh, we've finished everything. We've gone to all the islands. We're really good at killing people. Now all we have to do is get all the cosmetics, and then will the game essentially kind of die for us, or will we just still want to jump in every once in a while, kind of thing?
We'll see. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think what we're doing now is just getting games to stream and hang out.
Yeah.
So eventually, you probably just won't. We'll move on to a new game, and
right.
Then this game may or may not come up again in the future. I mean, it's one of those things where video games are becoming just like with Steam sales. Video games just become things you just have,
At least as we're older,
they don't take up space. You're attached to your account, so you don't have to store them places. So why not have more than you're going to play potentially, especially if they're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just what games are kind of like now. It's not like you have to play everything. but circling back real quick to the cosmetics, I thought this was really interesting because, I had this thought that us three, did not grow up at a time when the business model of cosmetics was big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of came about when we were kind of getting into college, I would say.
Yeah. When it was like...
So we're all pretty much, definitely no longer kids anymore. And I feel like the whole cosmetic thing is really popular with kids or young teens.
Yeah.
Maybe and maybe I'm wrong in this, and there's probably plenty of people older that would still collect things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Fortnite, for example, is predominantly a younger age group.
Yeah, I think you playing Fortnite, Sean. You're at like the peak, like the max the max end of Fortnite.
one of the older ages
ever
that
play
plays it,
Fortnite.
yeah.
But as someone who grew up at a time when cosmetics were a thing, it kind of goes back to when you were like, did you guys ever trade Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or anything like that? Or baseball
I
cards?
was into Yu-Gi-Oh pretty hard at one point.
I did a little bit of Pokemon, and that was kind of it. But that was a huge thing where or showing off what you have.
Literally just loot boxes
and
the
now,
whole time.
Yeah.
It's just trading
and
card
now
packs.
and now that's just moved to skins on games.
Yeah.
Roblox, Fortnite, all those are huge markets for kids and young teens that have, that's just the game they play, and they can show off what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing, that kind of, what's the word for prestige? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is just something that's moved over onto the games.
Yeah.
Because games are now so popular.
Yeah.
It's like wearing some like Jordans or something like that. Going to school wearing your nice Jordans.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's like now you got the special drop skin from Fortnite,
Yeah.
I think that's what it's become.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the rare skins, like where it's like, limited time, you only have a week to get the skin XYZ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
And then kids who grew up with that might then transition into buying it when they're older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas we wouldn't have that necessarily because we didn't grow up with that type of business model.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. It's gonna transition to like the metaverse when we're all like have our VR headsets, and then Facebook's gonna make you buy clothes, actual like VR clothes, and then you're gonna have to
do that.
You're gonna have to like have all these different clothes for the different days of the week, or you're not cool. Like, oh, you wore that orange shirt yesterday, loser. What are you doing? I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's just a virtual avatar,
bro.
That's
that's a thing for real life too, right? Like, were you guys ever into like buying fashion brands or buying out on brand stuff like Supreme or?
I definitely was never a brand guy. I mean, okay, I liked Abercrombie and Fitch, to be honest, but I wasn't a snob like that.
That's true. Yeah, I do remember.
You like that it's like a beach brand.
Well, Billabong, I really like.
Billabong.
Their surfing brand.
You like that, I thought.
I do, but it's not like I'm going out of my way to get Billabong clothing.
And you're
all the
not
time.
dropping $300 on a fucking Billabong
Yeah, I'm
t-shirt.
not like, hey, I need some khakis. Let's go get some Gucci khakis or what. I don't know. Like, I don't care. Like, to me, it gets a little too far. And I honestly think gaming companies are already going a little too far with the whole cosmetics thing, but it's obviously,
especially when you spend
when you're spending that much money. It's obviously a trend though. So obviously it's working. People are buying it. People are continuing to do it. So it's definitely going to propagate into the future. And I don't know where it'll go, how far it'll go over time, but
I am glad that this model prevailed over some of the other models that could have existed.
Like what?
Like pay to win as opposed to just
absolutely.
God, pay to win would have made me
pay to win
rage.
got hammered by the community so much.
Right. And I'm okay with people spending money on cosmetics because it's cosmetic.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Yep. To each their own. It's the same thing as spending money on, Beats or something else that is terrible quality.
I like how you're enraging all the Beats enthusiasts. Like, we have quality headphones. Nah,
they
Beats,
literally
Beats
put just metal weights in the headphones to make them feel like they were more premium. Yeah. It's like a known fact.
Beats is a lie for the most part. They have some good products.
Right, then what are your favorite headphones? I think Bose are the best.
Oh.
Bose are kind of the best quality, but they also know it, and so they jack up their prices because of it.
What about Sennheiser?
But there are other brands that, Sennheiser is definitely the best.
Those are like on another level, though, because Bose still...
And they're like still expensive.
Yeah.
I think
they're dropping $1,500
Jabras are actually really good for a decent price right
Jabra?
now. Yeah.
The Jabras. Yeah, I've heard of those. I like my Sonys, the ones I have right here. I think they're like the best $300 headphones. Bose fans come at
eventually
me.
I want to get some clip.
Those are $300.
Yeah, these are
Clipshick speakers.
Wow.
To replace my my stereo system for my record player. Clipshick. I don't know how to say the name, but it's like a brand of speakers that has the copper looking sound things. Very good quality.
Cool. I know. Yeah,
but I'm not a brand person, really.
Yeah, I'm not a brand. Me going,
especially for clothes.
Yeah. Well, you might be an Apple person, Sean. Going back to our phone discussion, but that comes with. I say this
as I do have Bose the speakers, like desktop speakers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just like from a quality perspective. You're not like,
Yeah.
I need to stick with XYZ brand. Yeah. Like it's one thing I don't get about fashion in general is like, I'm not one who has drip. Like I can dress up nicely, but
Yeah,
I don't have brand loyalty.
Yeah.
I may like brands, but I don't have loyalty to them. If a better competitor comes out or a better experience comes out for someone else, I'll go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why I'm with Apple, is because right now, to me, it's the best desktop experience.
Yeah.
But that's
You're
not to say
entitled to
that
your
I
own
don't.
opinion.
That's not to say I don't have a Windows, partition as well, and I work in Linux for a lot of my stuff. So it's like I use what's best for each purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I think having brand loyalty is almost like I'm anti-brand loyalty. It's like I want to go with the best of the best. Like I don't care who it is. Like give me the best quality product. And yeah, I'll go.
I just hate when things quality costs so much. Like I want to be able to find a good quality without the brand and without the brand recognition, because branding costs money. I actually did this with my cooler. I have everyone knows Yeti.
Yeah, Yeti's the king of cooler.
The really big, mold injected coolers, right? So there was two brothers, I believe, that made that company, and one of them was like, "Hey, we're charging too much money for these things. They're not worth that
much money." Yeah.
And the other brother was like, "No, we're going to keep charging more. People are going to buy them." And that was the Yeti guy. So so they split up, and the brother wanted to charge less, created a new company that makes the exact same cooler with a different name, and like the handles are different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the same kind of quality inside, keeps it cool for the same amount of time, and it's easily 30 to 40% less than Yeti's for whatever products they make.
Right.
But it's because it's a different name. Well, in this guy's case, he knew he can make it less, so that's why he's making it less.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are still other brands that you could get that spend zero money on ads or any sort of marketing, and they're just cheap because of that.
Mm-hmm.
The cooler that I have is like it's like a big Frig is the name of
Frig.
the company.
Big Frig?
Yeah. Or maybe it's Big Fridge. I don't know. FRIG. It's the exact same quality as Yeti, or any of those big injection molded coolers. They're all almost identical. And this costs, a quarter of the price of a Yeti.
Yeah.
But finding those brands is really hard because they don't promote it all.
They're like underground. It's like for the enthusiasts of whatever you're looking for. But it is very nice to know that it's out there. And that's why you always should probably do research if you're like, I want this, or I want a good version of this, XYZ. And then you can try to find out what the other brands are. Now, that's a really specific like scenario where the guy who made Yeti split off to do it. That's like super, like a very niche. You have to do a lot of research to find that. I mean, if you didn't know what you were getting
it's
into.
It's not too different. I mean, you've got Aldi and Trader Joe's, which is literally same exact situation. Two brothers basically got the company inherited. They had different ideas, split off, and then you've got
how that happened.
Yeah, Aldi sued and Aldi Nord, and it became Trader Joe's in the U.S.
I've ever been to an Aldi.
Really?
What the heck?
No.
Trader Joe's is so much better.
Oh, they're great.
Is that the one where you have to get your own shopping cart?
The exact same thing.
Pay for a shopping
I've never
cart?
even been to Aldi.
Is.
Oh, really? Because one of them is way superior.
Is quite cheaper.
Aldi's cheaper?
Well, yeah, cheaper, but like it feels like a soup kitchen.
Jeez,
I mean, I love Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is so good. Is that like a thing?
Trader Joe's is like, oh, nice chalkboards, and you feel welcomed, and it's like really kind of weird because all the hippies go there.
Yeah, that's great. It's awesome.
And they have all their own brands, which are hit or miss sometimes. But Aldi's does not feel like a nice experience when I was there. Maybe it's just the one that I went to.
Yeah.
So I'd have to try it again.
I definitely think they are not as like, you're not going there for the experience. You're going there to get groceries, but you're going to get cheaper groceries than you are going to get at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's is so good.
Because Trader Joe's is the recognized brand name, whereas Aldi's less recognized.
Is Trader Joe's
Evidently.
national in the U.S.? Is that everywhere in the U.S.?
Aldi's?
Aldi's,
Trader
I'm pretty
Joe's.
sure.
What about Trader Joe's,
them.
though? Is that only like...
There's one around my area.
There's
at
one around
least.
my area.
And then there's plenty around my area. I just didn't know if it was only... It's not just in a certain region of the U.S. then. It's everywhere.
Aldi.
Yeah.
And I know all these...
I've seen them across the state.
Okay, cool. Trader Joe's is great.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
about thrift shopping? Have you ever guys done something like that?
I don't like thrift shopping. That's
Thrift shopping.
I'm not a huge fan.
No. My brother does it a lot, but I don't. Because I hate clothes shopping in general. So it's even harder to do that if you're thrift shopping. Because then you really need to look. And
Yeah.
It is. It's the whole
I
experience.
just don't understand it.
So I actually really like it.
Or I just can't. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I really want to thrift shop.
You can't make
Like, I
yourself
think it'd be
do
really
it.
cool.
You can't bring yourself to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can go. It's just I get in the store and I'm like looking around and it just becomes too much and I just don't and I can't like process to go through all the things. And I gotta look at all the
overload.
labels and all the
So many
tags.
shirts.
It's just too much for me and I just can't do it.
Sean's too lazy to go thrift shopping. Dude, but I can
know.
find like shoes for $5. Like I got these shoes for $5. There's some Portuguese shoes, like
See, that's
real
awesome.
leather
I wanna
and
do
stuff
that.
like that. They're $5.
I always have trust issues. It's like, yes.
I need someone to go with me to thrift shop. I can't go by myself because I need someone who's an experienced thrifter.
I understand that. Yeah, it's more fun if you go together because you like find like the cool deals and stuff like that, and it's like a shared experience. It's always fun to go shopping with other people.
Yeah, it's super hit or miss because if you're like the greatest part about like being near a Salvation Army or anywhere like thrift shopping, if you're in a rich area, is you can find some like super high quality stuff with the tag still on it. That's great.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, it's like with the shoes, I'm like, where have these been? I'm not sure if I'd want to take these shoes home. That's just how I feel. Maybe that's just a shit take, but
It is.
I think it depends on how new the shoes.
I always
shoes
am
are.
like, I don't know. Like sometimes I wonder where everything's been, and yeah, there's a lot of dedication needs to go into having a good thrift shopping.
I mean, to be fair, you have to be like, okay, someone who in these clothes, they're probably dead, right? There's a good chance that some of these people are.
Well, hey, now we don't know that.
Yeah, not died in the clothes, but like
You don't know that.
Oh, there's plenty.
The only thing I would like to thrift would be like outer layers, like a jacket.
I've got some
or-
awesome leather jackets from thrift shops.
Yeah, like that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just do like the first layers.
Well, I'm not gonna buy underwear from a fucking thrift
my
shop.
boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a T-shirt, I wouldn't go and buy a T-shirt from a thrift store.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, you can find some actually fun graphic tees, like older graphics tees.
Yeah, I'd buy a T-shirt. I mean, I'd buy a lot
You
of
just
my.
have to- the main thing is the pit stains that you got to be aware about. So you got to make sure it's like not used because sometimes you'll run into a T-shirt.
See,
like,
now when you say that, you're really not
That
encouraging
turns
me.
me off to thrift shopping. I will say.
I'm just being honest. This is an honest conversation
This is
here.
why you need a pro thrifter with you.
Yeah, that's true. I like how everything's.
But I mean, you'll
all
get a
these ins and
$3
outs.
T-shirt, not like a $300 T-shirt.
Well, I'm just not doing that either. I'd buy a $10 T-shirt and then I avoid both problems.
from Amazon or Kohl's. That's another thing is buying shit from Amazon. I almost always go, all right, I'm going to find something on Amazon and see if I can, or find something in a store and then buy it off Amazon if I can. Because like I've tried a bunch of things like I'll go on Amazon stuff,
Better
right?
return policy.
Yeah.
And it always just like I go on Amazon and I'm like, this thing doesn't fit right, or like it's just like a weird sizing thing, or it just doesn't, or like the material isn't what they like said it would be.
Yeah. Not silky smooth. I am kind of brand.
Yeah, I mean, I bought several things off Amazon. It's been fine, but I think now I now have a lot closer access to like clothing stores than I did before at my new place. So I think I like going to the place and trying things on, even though it's a chore. I as a kid, I was the worst kid because I would never want to try on clothes. I'm like, I never wanted to get pants.
Pants.
Ever.
It's always the hardest thing to just try on. You got to take your pants off. Then you got to put more pants on. Yeah.
But like I didn't even wear like I refused to
Wait,
wear
what?
pants
That's
until
about to be like-
until
Well,
like
you also grew up in like Southern California, so
you
Yeah.
were about
Yeah.
to say I just didn't like to wear pants, and I was like, this is a good clip we could just take out of context.
yeah.
I just refused to wear pants, and I really only started when I went to MSU, when I went to college.
Oh, like
Yeah,
actual
because you
long
can't wear
pants.
shorts in negative 10, 20 degree
Right.
weather.
Yeah, but I think the main issue, I'm going to try and justify it logically. I had an extremely fast metabolism as a kid,
You still do, man.
and well, it's slowed down a little bit, but extremely fast as a kid. So that obviously would generate heat. And living in Southern California is hot.
I don't know about
so
that.
I can't wear pants because it's
I think that's a
too
stretch
hot.
there.
because
I think
of-
it's a bit of a stretch, Sean.
I'm not sure.
I think
If,
this
like
is
the
totally
heat
logical.
feel like
It's-
my body temperature is at least 0.5 degrees over the average humans. And I
My
can't wear pants.
Regardless,
metabolism is
I
too
like-
fast to process, or is too
probably like
fast to
200 days out of the year. 200. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. 96% of the days of the year, I was in shorts, no pants. I think the only times I wore pants was if my parents forced me to for a formal event,
Yep.
and that was it. But now it's fine. Like I'm wearing pants right now.
So you're wearing like shorts to a job interview?
I never really had much job interviews until like almost college time.
Yeah.
I think before then I didn't really wear. Yeah, I may have worn shorts because I worked at a rock climbing gym for my first job.
Oh, that would have been nice. The shorts.
So
You wore shorts there?
while I was working, I was wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wore shorts to the job interview. Huh.
I could 100% see that.
I don't know if they'd
I may
care.
have.
They wouldn't care either, because I mean they're all wearing shorts when they're interviewing you. I'm sure. So there's no way they would have cared.
No, they were wearing pants.
Really? Oh, fake climbers.
I know this. I remember this interview very well because we're friends now, but the owner of the business was interviewing me, right? But I didn't know this, so I'm like, oh, what do you do?
What do you do? What's your job here, fellow gremlin, fellow pawn?
She's like, oh, I started the thing. I'm like, oh, I should have done
Like,
that.
wow, yeah.
Probably should
Yeah.
have done a little more research.
Right. It's a rock climbing, you're not, it's not
Yeah,
like
it wasn't-
it's not a professional / like, enterprise level job where, yeah.
Rock climbing gyms are very profitable.
I assume so. I mean,
I
once
gotta-
you
I
get
gotta say.
the main capital, like there's a big capital
Yeah,
investment.
to
right?
build it is very expensive, but then once you have it built, it's actually very profitable to run it. I mean,
Yeah. It's like their
they cost a
memberships-
couple million to make,
Yeah.
like million or two, but depending on the size. But then, you're charging, depending on scale, like $50 to $100 a month.
Yeah. Their memberships are crazy expensive relative.
for at least. I mean, there's got. I don't know numbers, but let's ballpark it like 1,000 members.
I mean, that's
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 members times 100. That's like you add more
$100,000.
zeros.
50 times
and that's
12
$100,000
times
a month.
100 is
You pay for the gym in a
60,000.
year.
Yeah.
Well, probably like a year and a half for running fees and all that. It's a very profitable
50.
business. I mean, the gym that I started working at, they opened 3 years out. I joined 3 years after they started working, and they now have, and that was their only location. That brand has 4 locations now, and in the span of like 6 years.
Yeah.
Good profit margin.
It's like
there.
it's extremely
Mm-hmm.
it's extremely expensive to join a climbing gym, but more power to them, I guess. If
I guess,
that
I mean,
business
the
model
main-
works.
the main like expense, right, would be staffing, and then insurance,
Power.
and
Insurance, yeah, it's
power,
probably big.
and then just paying people to like modify the routes, right? Because they change their routes up like every couple months.
Well, you have to buy new holds and things like that, which aren't cheap, but not too bad, really. So yeah, it's pretty good, and you don't have to employ that many people. I mean, enough to cover the shifts for a week. Really.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not,
and then have them
it's
keep
not
coming
like,
back.
It's not like you need specialized jobs. I mean, it's like even just a regular gym.
Yeah,
The,
and they're like all
the expensive stuff is the equipment.
They're just
yeah, and they're mostly like
And the
minimum
location.
wage or not like they're not super high paying. It's not like a high paying skill set kind of thing, right? It's mostly just people watching people and making sure people don't die, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's good business model, really.
yeah.
I'd love to open a climbing gym. That'd be so cool.
It sounds like
future small business endeavor is you open like a small
Yeah, Sean,
climbing
just
gym.
put that.
or a brewery. I'd love to do that.
Brewery, huh?
Well, how about both?
Climbing gym. That sounds like insurance nightmare.
Some climbing gyms do have
Alcohol?
like they do sell alcohol.
Yeah,
Especially
it
in
sounds like
Europe.
a recipe for disaster.
I was gonna say that insurance like does not seem to like figure itself out.
Yeah.
I feel like you cannot have the same. Maybe after you climb, you can go to the alcohol room and be like, okay, you can have a beer. Just can't go the other way.
I mean,
you get really
you sign
drunk
a waiver
too.
when you join the gym. You're
Yeah.
just include that in there. You're good to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, but a lot of those waivers are like iffy at best. But
I imagine the climbing gyms have to be pretty strict.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know about you, but after you drink after exercising, right? Doesn't it get you like really buzzed really quickly? At least for me, it does. Because
Well, it's because your blood's circulating faster.
Yeah,
so
and I'm
like,
mildly dehydrated and everything like that, and it just hits me, and I'm like, oh, like it's like, oh,
honestly,
I'm
if you're
actually drunk
climbing
now.
and you've been climbing for an hour or two, and you're getting towards the end of your session, you go and have a beer. You can then climb for longer because it like numbs a little bit of the pain, so you can just,
So you
keep,
just
going
keep
a
going.
bit.
It's like I feel
good
nothing.
to know.
It's pretty
I
great.
can do it.
I've done it a couple
Yep.
times.
And you got like it's just all carbohydrates. So you got like an extra 150 calories of.
Oh yeah, you got a
carbohydrates.
little burst of energy from beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a fun time.
Yeah. You want to know though? I'm gonna loop back to the shopping thing real quick. You want to know what I really hate about shopping? Do you guys get this? Where you like go into a mall, and then you're in the mall for like 40 minutes, right? And your eyes just start to hurt. It's like all those lights,
Wait,
and you're
I
like,
don't know,
"Ah."
it's hurting.
I start like yawning. I start like wanting to fall asleep just right there on the floor. Like I'm getting hypnotized to fall asleep.
See, I don't know about.
I don't have that issue.
What?
Yeah.
That is
For
like
me, it's
every
decision
time I go to a
fatigue.
mall.
I get decision fatigue when I go to a mall because there's like so many things and so much. I'm like, do I want to get anything? I end up like rarely ever getting things, mostly because I can just buy shit off Amazon. But
I agree with this method.
Yeah,
But like
I get that decision fatigue. I mean, malls aren't really even a thing anymore. I feel like they've gone so by the wayside.
I go there.
No, I
every
think
once
malls
in
are
a
a
while.
thing.
Malls are good for like clothes shopping still. Like I still go to malls to go get clothes and stuff.
Yeah, but then you do what I do
There's
and
food
you just
at malls,
find
too.
them and you get
Yeah.
them on Amazon because they're like 25% cheaper on
See,
Amazon.
No, I don't. I don't necessarily agree with that. Usually,
shop-
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to get at Amazon.
When you
but-
shop at prestigious brands, and if I'm trying to pick up my Lululemon T-shirt, and there's no one that can replace
Okay,
a Lululemon
you just
T-shirt.
said that you don't give a fuck about brands, and now you're like, I'm
Yeah,
buying a
now
Lululemon t-shirt.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I really like Lululemon. Like, even though the shirts are stupid, like the pricing is dumb, but the quality is there.
Do you buy Lululemon leggings too for yourself?
I wish I had the money for that.
He's going running.
Just kidding. I would like to buy a lot of Lululemon things, but I can only buy I've limited myself to like 2 products per year because it's just criminally
I'm
priced.
limited by the money in my wallet.
Yeah, I don't want to spend $300 for a pair of sweatpants. Like that just is against
That
my
is pretty
principle.
ridiculous.
But malls are great.
They are soft, but like
They're so.
I have
good.
the issue at malls with salespeople because I have like the Ron Swanson issue, which is I don't know if you've seen a scene where someone's like, "Oh, do you need some help with this?" and then he says, "I know more than you."
yes.
I feel like that's what I have
Anytime
a
I
lot
walk
of
into
times.
Best Buy,
God, I feel
that's
like
me.
I have that with
Yeah.
a lot of tech related stuff. They're like
Yep.
so
Because if I'm in a mall to get a thing, it's because I've already done extensive research on it, and now I need to see the physical thing, to evaluate it. So by the time a salesperson gets up to me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to?" I'm like, "No, I already know everything I need to know about this product,
Yeah.
except what it looks and feels like."
yeah.
Yeah, you're the salesperson's
You cannot
worst
help me
nightmare.
here.
Because like you're the person who does not get swayed by any of like the fake bullshit they put out. It's just like
Yeah.
non-impulse buyers at all. I feel you there. I'm a very I usually tend to be research oriented.
Yeah,
like,
heavily
I need to
research-oriented.
look into stuff, and then it's like But then you have like people who are just like total impulse buyers, like, oh, looks cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's where the
Man,
salesperson makes their.
I disliked it so much. I actually went to try and buy, because per the previous podcast, I'm looking to buy an iPhone, right? And I actually went. I came home I was on a trip this weekend. I was coming home. I went to a Best Buy on the way home to get my new iPhone, right? I was going to buy it.
Wrong place.
It was a terrible idea. Dude, I go in there. I'm like, I want an iPhone 13 Pro. And they're like, well, okay, but have you considered the Pro Max? I'm like, no, I want the Pro. It's like...
So yes, I considered it, and I decided on the Pro.
It's the big one. They're like, but the Pro Max has this awesome thing, and it's only an extra amount of money per month. And I couldn't even end up buying it because they're like, all right, so we have to have your like social security number for your account. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you that. I'm just going to go to Apple and buy it. Second, they're like, we can't we can't have you buy it outright, because I was going to buy it in cash. I don't know if you guys...
Excuse me? Yeah. You can't buy it outright?
Because I'm with AT&T, so they're like, yeah, sometimes AT&T is weird. You have to do a monthly installment. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing a monthly installment. That sounds like total BS. And then there's a third reason that I was just like... it just pissed me off even more or something. I don't know. I just left. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy this from Apple. Get lost, losers.
Honestly, in the last like 5 years, Apple has made the process of buying an iPhone extremely painless. It's like the easiest thing possible now to get an iPhone.
I mean, even if you don't have the money, you could like get on a loan. Like that.
Well, even
that's a dangerous thing right there.
Well, I'm saying like not necessarily for money, but like just the experience. For example, it makes it easier because I already have an iPhone. But even if I didn't, it would still be pretty easy. So I could go online. I could say, all right, I go online. You enter your number, the carrier you're with, and then what the iPhone you want, and that's it.
Yeah.
You press buy. They'll send you the iPhone. All right, you turn it on, and then all of a sudden, it's like, all right, do you have an iPhone nearby? Sure, I do. It just transfers everything over. The number pops up and starts working. You can be working with a new iPhone in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's honestly amazing how they've done it.
They're taking the friction out of it. But we'll see. I mean, going from Android to iPhone, it will also be pretty simple.
Yeah, you'll be a good test.
It'll be a good test to it. But they have like 2 days.
Buy it from Apple. Don't go for elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right. But
I mean, there's no difference in price usually.
Yeah. But now, I had a thought. Oh, Apple, I'm going to probably order online because they have 2-day shipping too from their website. So I'm like, I don't even know if I'll go to an actual store. I'll just get it online. So.
And the number doesn't transfer until you turn on the phone. So like.
Yeah, I just put my SIM card in there.
You enter your number and you're good to go.
Yeah. So I was like, BS, Best Buy. I've been hearing a lot of people going to the Best Buy. They go in there, and it's only like 12 people with blue Best Buy shirts just walking around with no one to talk to. And they're like,
absolutely.
How is Best Buy still open?
The Best Buy near me is pretty busy.
Is it? Man, I don't know how they're still like around me because there's just no one in these stores. The past couple times I've been in. So weird.
The one close to me, I had to buy like a physical cable.
Of stuff.
I had like buy a physical cable for like, I forget what it was, but I needed a physical cable like that day.
Yeah.
Like, well, shit, I guess I gotta go to Best Buy because Amazon's gonna take 2 days.
Yeah.
So I went in, right, and it's like, it's like one is a $15 cable, which should normally be like a
all the workers like cable. Activate like, ooh,
exactly.
Someone's here.
Exactly. There's like 3 people like ask me, hey, can I help you with anything? I'm like, nope, I know exactly what I want. Just I don't need to be pointed in the right direction.
I want the gold-plated connector, $12,000 cable.
Yeah. Give me that HDMI gold
they try to sell you
cable.
like random stuff. I'm like, dude, I know exactly what I want. One, the Ron Swanson thing. I'm like, I know more than you.
Absolutely, yeah. I know more.
Yeah, the only thing I maybe not is the appliances. Like I'm talking about like fridges, and I don't even know why they sell those things.
That's what I'm saying. Like they have such a weird collection of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they got the DVDs, a large selection of DVDs and CDs.
Mm-hmm.
They have the GoPro and drone section, the camera section,
the audio section, the headphones,
the audio, and
the fridges,
the
appliance section,
the fridges,
and then the TVs.
Yep.
And then they have fridges and microwaves and washing machines.
Yeah. And obviously don't forget computers and like that stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, where else are you going to buy a new fridge though? Where else would you go?
Home Depot,
yeah.
Do they have fridges there?
Lowe's or Home Depot, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. If I'm gonna buy a fridge, I'd probably go to.
But
Home
they're
Depot.
not as tech savvy as Best Buy, obviously.
So they won't try and sell me on bogus Twitter
Bogus
enabled
Wi-Fi
TV or
connected.
fridges probably.
Twitter enabled
I get my
TV,
Twitter
right?
feed
Oh,
on my
you joke.
fridge, bro.
It's real.
I know. That's why I'm like
Oh man.
cringing at it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I don't need a giant like Samsung touchscreen fridge. I'm good.
I'm good.
You want to know?
Yeah, I don't think I'd buy it from Best Buy. There's no reason to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Although speaking of buying things, I just bought new tires.
Another situation where I was like, I
And
know more than
wheels.
you when I talked to the representative. But continue.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah?
For sure.
I see. I know a decent amount about tires and things like that, but there's so many options for my Jeep that it's very difficult to be like, this is the specific thing that is best. So someone else will probably have more knowledge on the subject than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many options. Like I could get my tire size with a rim width of like 3 different variations.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going to be best.
Well,
which width will be best?
I guess tires are a little
You know?
weird because they do have the weird sizing thing. But I think if you just did more research, you could have easily been like in the know.
I eventually figured it out. I got some recommendations, did some more research, and figured it
Yeah.
out. And I'm really happy with how they look.
Yeah.
Jeep looks awesome now, really cool, and I don't need to do any lifts in it, and it looks perfect without it. So I'm happy with that. But it's one of those things where like it's just this massive purchase that you kind
tires
of
not
have to
cheap
do.
too.
Tires and big tires. I have
You have to have-
31-inch
You have to get
tires.
5
Yeah.
tires too. I keep forgetting that. Jacks up another like
I have 5
$200.
tires. But because of that, it
$200? Just
it was
$200?
more than 200.
More-
it's like $215 for the
Yeah,
wheel,
the
and
wheel
then like
and
100 for
tire.
the rim.
I mean, that's expensive.
But now because I have that 5th one though, and I'm gonna cycle that into the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So I technically have now 25% more life for my tires.
Yeah, you'll
because
use
I have
it.
an extra tire
Mm-hmm.
that cycles into the rotation every 5,000 miles. But man, it's a big purchase.
Yeah.
It's so annoying, and you get on, I'm like, man, looks good. So it necessary, but definitely hurts when you
Yeah.
have something like that.
I mean, I remember when I had my old car, I dropped almost $500 just on 2 tires.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how the fuck?
and wheels too, or just tires?
I think just tires, not even new wheels.
That's a bit expensive.
I
It's
believe
because
that.
well, at that point, like it was like a 15-year-old car, right? So the stuff like those specific wheels just aren't in production, so you have to like get specialty manufacturers for them. And so at that point, I'm like, it's astronomical. Like, how the
I'm lucky that my tires are very prominent. You know, they're not like
they're yeah. The
they're
regular
not special. I mean, there's a lot of tires. A lot of people use these tires. I got BF Goodrich KO2s, which are really good all-terrain, quiet tires, like on the road.
your brand.
So, yeah, but it's not an easy purchase to do.
Yeah.
And I also realized that there's like, I don't really have hubcaps. I have like axle caps in a way.
Oh, like that you
and
push in?
They come separately from the thing. And I read that, but I didn't really realize it.
Uh-huh.
So I still need to get them. They're like $10 a piece,
Yeah,
so not a problem.
yeah.
But I just don't have like the tiny little cap that's in the center of my tire. So I need to get that next. I need to go back when I'm at 100 miles with the new tires. I'm going to retorque them, and or the people that install them are going to retorque them, and then I'll get the stuff at the time. But it's one of those small things that I just didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, the epitome, and Mike, you might be able to speak to this as well. The epitome of awful like sales rep people, definitely the most insufferable of all time is definitely car salesmen. I cannot stand.
Yeah.
I do not believe a single thing that comes out of a car salesman's mouth for the most part. I do not. I do not like
Yeah.
the car salesman thing. Like I bet they're great
When
people,
you're buying
but man,
a new car, it's not as bad. But when you're buying a used car from a dealership, oh my god, it's a fucking nightmare.
it's just like they're trying to upsell you. They're like, I don't know. It's terrible because you know the price of the car. Trying to make them come down is always an issue. They're lying, like you know a lot more than them, but they're like, yeah, this is the car. It's the SE model. It's got this, and this. But me, when I did my research on the models, I'm like, no, this does not have this. Like I researched this, and what are you doing? I was getting. I'm just.
This is something
And
I have.
at that point, you basically just have to be
with.
like, in every negotiation, you want to be like, I have an easy out, right? And at that point, you're like, well, I'll just go to another dealer and you just walk away.
That's my thing.
And
It's
if they
like-
want to like try to pull you, it's like because you're at a good point because like I always try to like walk into those negotiations, right, where I am holding the majority of the cards, right? They have obviously that, but I have multiple options.
Yeah.
I'm not like set in stone on XYZ, right? Like I'm like I'm flexible and not so much in like the price wise, right? I want to get the best deal, but more of like, if this deal doesn't work out, it's not the end of the day. It's just another. It's like, all right, it's not gonna work out. I just wasted my hour or whatever it is to negotiating with them, right?
Right.
So yeah, you just gotta basically be like, well, it's ain't gonna work out. Thank you and bye.
That's the thing.
I have never had this experience.
Well, go.
Well,
bought
you've had
my-
the same car for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I bought my Jeep. It's the only car I've ever bought. I bought it from a private party.
Which is great.
there's,
I would love that to buy it from private over dealer.
I've never had to buy from a dealership or even communicate with a dealership.
Honestly, Sean, I think when you do this, you'll be like, say you want another Jeep or something, you make a lot of money, you're like, I want to upgrade. You're going to go into the Jeep dealership and you're going to be like, can I have this Jeep? And they're going to be like, I don't even know what that Jeep trim is. And it's like, my dude, I don't know. Maybe they have a lot of cars to keep track of. And sometimes I think I beat people up because I do a lot for a car. I did a lot of research. I knew everything that went into the car.
Yep.
So sometimes it's like, I don't know. They're like trying to upsell me or mark up a car that they didn't even know anything about. And I'm like, guys, come on.
I think I'm going to have a really hard time when I have to buy another car. Like, there's 10 parts in my car. There's not much
it's all mechanical
going on to
for
it.
the most part.
And if I ever have to buy a new car, I'm like, well, what are all these features? Like, what does this do? Like, it's going to be
The
such
steering
a
wheel moves
foreign concept
itself.
to me.
It puts me back in the lane. I'm trying to go off-roading, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Dude, that is the biggest pain in the ass. My car's got that.
It can
it's like,
sometimes do that.
I'm like, why are you fighting me? Just do what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it'll be a thing. I don't know. I'm. This is why I like almost, as much as people don't like Teslas, this is why I kind of like Tesla. I can just order it online, and it's not marked up. It's just
you can.
it's just the price it
That's
is,
cool.
and you just click buy, and then you get it, and you're happy, and it's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a model that I think it's kind of weird to me that car manufacturers haven't gone to that model yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole dealership thing, I think it's something to do with like one, I'm just talking about my ass here, but I think it's to do with like one, like kind of the tradition, and two, I think there's actually like rules in place where, if I recall correctly, that like manufacturers have to sell to dealers. Like there's something
Then how
in
did
place.
Tesla get around it?
I don't know.
Probably
Maybe
because
they
of electric
That's
cars.
the
they
thing,
might
like,
be legally
how
a
do they do it?
software
I don't-
company or something instead of a car. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
that'd be
know if
cool.
that's like how they do
They're
it.
actually really interesting.
But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's some rule in place where like they basically have to go through dealers because you can't just go, because what happens, right, is even if you do build something on your that, on the plus side, when you're buying a new car, you're not there's usually no like negotiation there. It's like, okay, sticker price is it, and it's across the board, same thing, unless there's like rebates and shit like that in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's usually what it is. You don't have to deal with like the negotiation of a used car. But yeah, like even when you build something on what you're talking about, like with Tesla, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're shipping it directly to. They're basically shipping it to a dealer, which then you pick it up from the dealer.
Right.
So there's like I don't know what.
But usually it's a Tesla dealer. There's not like an in-between dealer. Like a Tesla brick and mortar store.
Yeah,
is it?
I
Right?
think so. I don't know how
I don't think they
how
ship
they
to like a
specifically work.
car dealership.
I know they're
Because I think think that's their thing, is like they have to sell to or deliver it to a place, but they can't do it with. I do know nothing about this subject. I'll be honest. So-
I know that there are some Tesla intermediaries that mark up Teslas. They'll make you pay an extra $5,000 premium. I don't know why you'd ever use one of those, but you can go through one of them. There are, I mean, a lot of the other car dealers too. Now, like a lot of like just in current times now, like there's some new sports cars coming out that are really exciting because they're really cheap, but they're running into the issue where the dealers all mark them up $5,000 because everyone wants them, supply and demand, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and that's just what's getting the most annoying. It's like this new car. There's a new Toyota hot hatch coming out. That's like the Volkswagen that I have, GTI, and basically, if you're a car person, you know. But like, I'll briefly go over it if you're not a car person. But like, all the hot hatches are coming into the U.S. and all these dealers are just basically marking up all these cars like $5,000-10,000 just because they can, and it's just pissing everyone off.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people are still buying them. So even though everyone,
it's the GPUs,
it's like,
except for with hot hatches and cars.
It's silly because it's like, I remember the car there was a car that was like released in the UK, and like in like 24 hours they all sold out for the next 2 years. But like they were all marked up like sorry, I don't know if the UK can mark them up, but if that happened here, the US would just be like, yes, we'll sell it for a $5,000 profit, and then they'll just pocket the $5,000. But no one seems to care that.
This goes back to skins.
This
loops all the way back to skins. Like, you don't need a new car for another 2 years. The majority of these people ordering them do not need a new car because they're currently one is functioning. There's the minority whose their car is dying and they need a new car, so it's time to upgrade. But the majority do not need a new car.
Yeah.
Yet they want to get it because it's the new fancy toy on the block. You know.
This is when, it's
like and that's why you guys buy skins. It's because it's the new cool look.
Stop buying skins, guys.
Yeah,
everything is just skins.
Except these skins cost $30,000.
Yeah,
and I bet those kids that were raised with Fortnite skins will be like, easy, let's buy, drop the money.
Oh my god! No, here's the thing. Microtransactions.
There's no
man, I swear this is gonna happen. This is my prediction for the future. Cars are gonna have like a subscription based features in their software.
They already do.
Oh my
I know.
God.
They are.
Never gonna get rid of my Jeep.
OnStar
so I've got a Chevy, right?
Gonna sell my Jeep.
Dude, I bet Tesla. I think you could buy autopilot for like $5,000. I feel like one day it's going to be like $300 a month forever. You just have to have that money. And I'm like, bro,
for the autopilot.
I fuck
well,
that.
did you hear about the lawsuit that was going on with Tesla?
I didn't. Are they
where? I mean, there's probably many, but like one in particular.
Probably.
Somebody bought a used Tesla, okay? So some guy sold his Tesla to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Tesla, and this previously, the previous owner...
I think I've heard this actually.
Bought Warp Drive or whatever the thing is, which unlocks the speed of the Tesla so
Ludicrous
it can go
mode?
super fast. Ludicrous speed.
Yeah.
And when that guy sold it to this new guy... Tesla disabled that for the car.
Yeah, they said you have to buy it again.
Yeah, and the guy was like, "Excuse me, like if I put new tires on a car or buy a feature for a car, you don't just take it away.
You can't just
from the new person you sell it
it's
to.
my car,
I mean that's what my opinion and logically what you would think. I don't know what happened with this lawsuit, but that was what happened. Like Tesla removed the software feature because it's all just software.
That's a bit weird. Yeah. To me, it's like having like a tires is a great example, or like if you have like a warranty. If the warranty still exists after you sell the car, right? Like say if I have a new car for 2 years and sell it to someone, they've still got like, and it's a 3-year warranty, which most manufacturers have. They still have a year on that warranty.
Yeah.
And so like, or you have like a 10-year powertrain. It's tied to the car. It's not tied to the person. So that it's the exact same. It should be the exact same thing. That's really stupid.
Bro, when I get a Tesla, I'm jailbreaking that thing. I don't care.
Jailbreak
I'm just gonna jailbreak it and get all the features for free. I don't want to pay.
I bet there is something out there.
So I just looked it up. So apparently Tesla did eventually restore the removed features.
God.
But this is not a new. This happens to many people. Yeah. Apparently,
that's just silly to me. And that's the future. That's definitely the future.
Oh, yeah. Which is really stupid because, I mean, you've already got expenses on top of buying a car, right? You've got the, I'm how many hundreds of dollars you're spending per month to, for the loan / the lease. And then you've got the insurance, which is another monthly cost. And then obviously the subscription shit. It's like, oh, here's another, like, was it OnStar? They wanted to pay, like, it was like something like $70 a month. I'm like,
it's like, that. Bro, get the hell out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I worry about that.
One thing that's cool about it, and actually I think I get this for free, is it'll text me if my tires are down. Like I had low tire pressure in one, and it literally sent me a text to my phone. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's weird. I don't like that.
Oh, it's awesome. Are you kidding? Because I'm like,
I don't like that at all.
Because that means I don't have to like worry about like checking my tires all the time. I'm like, oh,
why would you need to check your tires all the time? It's like air doesn't go down.
You don't do that.
Much.
Oh, at least once a week.
Once every
at least
couple
in my old
months,
car,
maybe.
Once a week on my old car, mostly because I had shitty tires and like it's college.
That's the tires problem.
It is, yeah. But I'm like, once a week, I'd always check my tires to make sure that I don't have anything low, and I'd if I need to go fill them, I'd find some free air.
That sounds like you need more new tires.
Yeah.
That's okay. So
that's why I bought new tires, and then they were $500 fucking dollars.
Plus,
yeah, because they actually keep air in them. Newer Jeeps will tell you the air pressure in all of your tires from the dashboard.
Yeah.
So you don't need to get a text.
Well,
you can just see
mine were busted. That's why, because the pressure sensors, whatever, they were fucked up. So. And
there are so many extraneous details with your story. I'm going to discount it. it's like
discounted. But soon, they're going to be like, so you have to renew your Tesla membership. If you don't, we're just going to stop your car and we're going to wait.
You just can't drive your car anymore.
Subscribe to your Tesla membership.
Well, that pulls in another thing of, have you heard about like the whole like the ride sharing ability of Teslas?
How so?
Is it like you pay?
Like,
I don't know if I've
basically
heard of this yet.
Where someone can own a Tesla and you can like lend it out, right? And people can pay for it on like a basis of like, hey, I want to use this Tesla from X period to Y period, and they pay to use it like a ride sharing.
I know another
function.
service of car did this, but I didn't know Tesla.
But it could like eventually in the future you could literally just do it automatically, right? Because they have the auto drive.
Yeah, they drive to your
autopilot.
Customer.
They literally just drive to the new place. And then the person could just drive around. They don't have to like go pick up or anything like that. It literally just
then it becomes an investment. You're like, I'm gonna buy this car.
It's like an
right?
Uber, but you're
the car
not
is just
in the
gonna
Uber.
actually do work.
Yeah.
Imagine Imagine the car becomes an Uber when you're at work.
Yes, that's literally
I think that is the concept, right? Yeah.
I would get a Tesla if that was possible.
Then,
but the
like,
question is,
you need to be back at work at 5:00.
yeah. Don't be out too late.
The liability, though, right? Is who has liability? Is the owner liable for anything that happens, or is it the person
or is it Tesla?
driving,
or
is it Tesla? Yeah.
Well, if it's an Uber, then in theory it would be Tesla, because Tesla's software is operating the vehicle. If
in theory, though,
you're renting it out, then it's whoever's driving the car.
Tesla's terms and conditions are like, we are not liable if our autopilot smashes through a McDonald's. Sorry, bro.
Right? We're not liable if autopilot sucks dick. So it's
that'd be kind of cool though. Like,
it would.
I don't know. I'm a little unsure about trusting my life in the hands of some software.
Honestly,
like I mean, there's plenty of occasions where I do think about like planes. Most flying is done by
automated.
Yeah, automated. But and obviously we have like the situations like the was the Max 8 where
where it just like
software
dipped.
Caused,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but
eventually the software is going to be there and it's going to be undercutting. Like they'll be able to prove if software took over for human error and took over for driving humans, it would save more lives than humans driving.
Well, the moment where the software becomes more like better percentage wise than human error is when it's going to take over, because then
I don't think
then
so,
all of a sudden because then insurance companies, it's more expensive to insure humans at that point.
That's a good point. The notaries will see it as a benefit, but I still think the general public will see human drivers as better because there's like this stipulation, right?
Yeah,
like, I think there's going to be a real fine tooth comb with that.
I think maybe for like a generation or two, but then that's it. Like it's gonna
a generation or two, so 40 years.
That's a long time, I think.
Yeah, but that's it'll still go through, and I think eventually, no one will own cars, or a possibility
you
is
don't
no one's going to
own a
own
car.
cars.
That's a scary.
All you do is
now.
like, I need to go from here to here, and then a car shows up and moves you.
All Teslas are just
That way,
idea,
that
though.
way you can have less cars in volume. Because all the ones that exist are just moving around constantly and ferrying people.
Yeah, but I still
It all
think
becomes public transportation in a way.
there's still gonna be like some kind of owner, because obviously people will like trash cars and shit like that, right? Like,
Well, it depends on if like a city is going to provide this new public transportation system potentially.
I don't know if I'd
which
trust
might
the
happen.
city. I think I'd trust individual private ownership, which sounds kind of bad.
I don't
but
know.
Like,
I think that could be that's like the future. Honest for America, where we're all suburbia and we don't have public transport. It's probably easier in the next 100 years to have a bunch of Teslas without steering wheels, just chauffeuring people around everywhere. And it
I think
would
you still
be
gotta
more
have a steering wheel in
expensive.
the car.
Well, I'm just saying, I guess, just so they can't take the steering wheel and crash
It'd
it.
be like an iRobot situation
Yeah.
where
See-
it like come out if you need it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but that also seems like that now that's a subscription service. How much am I paying? Am I paying $100 a month? Because that's not bad. But if I'm paying like
Well, it depends
$1,000,
on if it's a private or public utility.
yeah,
Yeah. Like if it's a public utility, then it's roped into whatever
Like your taxes?
city taxes
Yeah.
you're playing.
which would be
Or
awesome.
it's just a software that's provided, like, bus tickets, right?
Yeah, it's like a bus
It'd be
fare. You get a
basically
card,
digital
you tap
form
it.
of dust. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they
Actually, it'd be pretty cool.
travel by mile or
Monthly
something.
subscription fee for like $80 a month, and you just have access to every single car you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if you don't move around much, then you don't need to, do it. It's like it could give you X amount of rides per month, and then if you go over, then you pay per thing, like much like a phone,
like a
plan
phone
works,
plan.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Man, LA could use this a lot. Can you imagine? You could get somewhere like twice as fast because the traffic is now like automated and it's smart and it doesn't, crash into stuff all the time. And
I've been saying for years how like I can't wait until everything is automated because one of my biggest frustrations is the light turns green and you have to
traffic
wait
snake.
for everybody sequentially to just press the gas.
Mm-hmm.
If all cars in the lane press the gas the same time, you would have so much more throughput
yeah,
in the lane.
Yep.
And you can't do that right now because it's people. But if it's all software controlled, then it all starts and it all works.
I mean, you would have so fewer traffic jams because no one really gives a fuck about like going, like, if they're not driving, right? I'm going to assume that people are not going to be as like anal about getting there really fast or like getting worked up. I mean, especially like LA traffic, right?
Right.
You'll have people who are like going like 90 and you'll have people who are like going like 60, and you're like, what? And so you have this huge disparity in like crazy traffic, and then that creates these like traffic
And
buildups and jams.
the accuracy of when you're going to get there would be almost perfect because you can just exactly calculate.
Yeah.
It's going to take this long.
Yep. And it's like just call
because there's no unexpected things.
Call the car in a certain time. Yeah, if you need to get, like you'll get there 5:45 a.m. or p.m. whatever. Like it's all expected. It's all calculated. I am excited for when that
it's
happens.
like Google Maps to the nth degree.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be awesome when that happens. I mean, now I just wonder, like, okay, so if a guy wants to just rob me, does he just punch a hole in the window at a traffic light and rob me, and I can't get away now? Or I don't know how they'll deal with that. It's a very nitpicky, like, what if scenario. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, has that ever happened to you?
well, no, but like
Someone
just think of
punched
it.
out
Like,
the window at a
like,
traffic
if
light.
if a guy just comes and punches a hole in your window, you could drive away. But if you're in an automated car, are you just like, well, I'm screwed. Like I can't do anything anymore.
It's true. And it's a situation that will need to be thought of and programmed.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
an evacuation. I don't know. That's a
Yeah,
very
or
specific
what
like thought.
Sean was talking about, where like the steering wheel is recessed and then pops out in case of
emergency,
like a situation.
Oh gosh,
where it's like, oh, you need to take manual control. All right, pops out, boom, go.
I actually think that could be.
Well, I know to program Tesla's like autopilot, they crowdsourced it. Essentially, crowdsourcing the whole the train problem. You know, if there was one small child,
the trolley problem.
you'd kill them. Yeah, whatever that philosophical thing is, they crowdsourced that to program their autopilot. So, because when the Tesla is presented with a problem, there is an old lady crossing the road, unexpectedly. How do we get around this? Well, we could go up on the curb. Okay, well, we could go this way. And it's just like all these decision-making things need to be defined for the program to work.
Yeah.
So they crowdsource those decisions, to be like, if the most people decided this was the correct course of action, that's now what the program.
Oh, really?
That's actually really interesting.
Kind of crazy.
So what, like hit the grandma was one of them? Just like if the grandma's crossing, I can't miss my meeting.
Option, yes or no, what do you do? And so the most people that did one direction.
That's really interesting too, because in a way, Tesla could be like, we're actually not liable because this is just normal human interaction. We just chose the most optimal thing, which is what most people would do in this situation.
An AI decided it.
No, we didn't decide this. You guys decided it. You guys are the fucked up ones.
Humanity fucked up.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, humanity is the one that's fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole like ball game. We'll have to get in little bite-sized pieces.
I definitely see automated trucks becoming more popular.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like automated cars, just due to the fact that trucks are a lot more. There's more defined routes, and there's I think a lot less. They're usually in like not super densely populated areas. Yeah,
they go through a lot of densely populated areas.
Yeah, but compared to automobiles.
But they don't need to go in like small roads, side roads, really.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with like some of the weird wonky stuff that happens in a car. You can just deal with they usually have very defined routes.
Yeah. I've been watching Picard, new season of Picard, which is Star Trek, and in this season they go back in time to right now.
Oh,
okay.
Right, and Star Trek takes place about 400 years. Well, you guys aren't going to watch it.
Nah,
that's true. I'm not.
Star Trek takes place about 400 years in our future, give or take 400 to 500 years, and they go back in time to now. So it's like them experiencing what
we experience
our time is like, which is really quite chaotic compared to Star Trek. Like they don't have money in Star Trek anymore.
Really?
A lot of the things we've been talking about are replicators exist.
What do you just live?
A lot of things we've been talking about, like this public transportation system, exists in Star Trek. It's
do you just not work?
Kind of crazy when they go back and they're like, "Oh, we don't have anything because we don't have money. We don't have anything."
Yeah, aren't they like they're basically like a communist, like the ideal communist kind of thing, right? Where it's everyone like basically everything's provided by the government.
If
kind of thing.
you had the technology to make communism work, then yes, that's what it would be. Because like no one needs to do any type of job. I mean, everyone has jobs. I mean, but everything's so technologically advanced that all your basic needs are met, and you can kind of do whatever you want to do.
So
it's all creative pursuits. That's kind of what Star Trek is.
I see. So it's all like, well, I guess it's engineers, but then it's also artists exist,
doctors, all those exist,
and they learn how to.
But if you didn't want to do any of that pursuit, you wouldn't really need to.
You could just kind of like chill and live on a minimum lifestyle and still be comfortable, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because there's no money. There's no like you can make any of your stuff. They solve power, right?
Right.
And if you can solve power, then anything that you need to make is pretty easy. And they have replicators, which just materializes something you need.
Oh.
So if you have the power to power replicator,
you have everything.
What else do you need? That's it. That's all you need. And then that's why they explore space, because they're like, well,
nothing else to do.
What else are we gonna do?
What if you like just want to kill someone? Can you just materialize a gun and then go shoot someone?
I imagine there's limits, but I don't know. They probably also have I know they have psychiatrists and therapists in the future, because that's several episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I imagine they kind of clamp down on that, but that's kind of like that society. So like it's cool to see them going back and them being like
what's going
which is
on?
Also funny because it's a rendition of a society created in 1970s, right? Original Star Trek. So a thought process of a society from the 1970s thought process now going, obviously their fictional world 400 years in the future, and then coming back. So it's like it's like this kind of meta.
It's really interesting.
Weirdness.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun watching it. It's been a really good show.
That's cool.
Cool. Speaking of shows, I recently watched The Batman. I'm a little late on this.
Oh,
Have you seen it yet?
Batman.
I haven't. I should. I'm assuming, right? I should.
All right. Spoiler talk or
It's
no?
not bad.
I shouldn't see. Should we not spoiler talk it? I haven't seen it. I don't know.
You can give your general thoughts about it if you like, and I can give mine. Is this what you were talking about with like the movie take?
So I want to bring this up because it's kind of a hot take, at least from Sean's perspective, because I thought the Batman, the latest The Batman, was better than The Dark Knight Rises.
Which is the third Dark Knight movie.
Correct.
Is the Dark Knight?
And I said, I don't think it is. I think it was a good movie, but it was not like, it was not the best Batman, you know?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I think
It was like
Christian
it was
Bale
like
in The Dark
alright.
Knight is the best Batman.
Yeah, but the whole Dark Knight series as a whole was better than this movie, you know? In each movie individually, I would say.
I don't know. I still really liked what's his face as the Batman. He was a younger, more like, I don't know, angrier Batman.
He was like messed
Emo
up,
Batman.
right?
emo Batman. He was emo Batman.
I heard that like it's kind of realistic because like to actually have a Batman, like if Batman was real, Robert Pattinson's Batman would actually be somewhat realistic. Like Batman would have some issues. I don't know what that means. You guys know what that means, but he'd have like these weird issues that might pop up in the movie.
I mean, he's kind of
See that
emo.
potentially.
He's emo,
But
hardcore rock.
I don't know.
Batman.
It was an all right movie.
All right,
I liked
you
it.
calling it mid?
Yeah.
Decent.
Is that better?
I
than mid?
enjoyed the movie. I thought it was too long. It was well paced, but it was too long.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not something that I'd be like, wow, I really want to rewatch that.
Oh.
It's like, all right, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
I
just
could rewatch the third Dark Knight right now.
Really? I just thought the theme. See, I don't really would never watch the third Dark Knight Rise. I don't even really like it. But
See, there you go.
I just thought the theming of it was better. Like I like the themes that it explored from this perspective much better than the.
They did dive more into Batman's psyche than other
Yeah,
movies.
doesn't he start going crazy at some point? Like, doesn't he start going like off the walls?
Yes or no? Maybe.
I'm
I'm not
inviting
going to confirm
myself.
nor deny.
I'm inviting myself
Yeah.
to spoilers at this point.
Yep. I'm just like holding a poker face here. I'm just being like,
Yeah.
Well, if you want an answer,
Colton, if you believe he does, then he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't feel it, but
I have to watch
I
it.
don't
I have
know.
to try and bring myself to watch it soon. Because I know it's supposed to be very good. I don't know how they keep doing this. They make DC Batman. They just hit it A plus, A plus, A plus, A plus. They're always making good movies. But
I don't know about that.
okay, fine. They're always good movies, though. The Dark Knight trilogy and this Batman, 4 Batman movies are considered good movies, I think, at the very least, right?
It's true.
But like the rest of the DC universe, I feel like they've really struggled. And even like Marvel movies, like not all the movies in it characters' respective franchise had that consistent, like that was a good movie.
With the Batman story, they're making the exact same story every time. They don't change it.
I'm not that, and now that's not great.
No,
but
I mean this was Long Halloween. That was the comic it's based off.
But it's the same thing. They showed the parents dying
oh,
again.
they do.
I know how
They
Bruce
do?
Wayne's
Oh my
parents
gosh,
died.
that's-
No, they didn't. They didn't show the parents dying.
I'm pretty sure they did.
No, they
I was
didn't.
gonna say if they did,
Because I remember because this is the one that they never did. They
That's so
always show the parents
stupid.
dying, which is stupid. I 100% agree. Everyone
Well,
knows.
I feel like they did already in the movie because of how often they do it. Like, it's
I mean, they
just
talk
something that I
about-
feel they
It's
did.
like-
they talk about his
They
dead
talked
parents. No
about
shit.
it.
yeah, we already
mean,
know.
It's kind of important to Batman's character that his parents did die, but they didn't show it. Like,
But everyone knows that Batman's parents were killed in an alley.
They
Everyone
should
knows.
have the next Batman, just his parents don't die. Like his parents are the villain or something. That's how he died. He kills them.
he's the
That would
happy-go-lucky
be an
Batman.
interesting Batman
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
He's like
Speaking of
Swan
Batman-
Man. Swan Man.
Have you been watching Moonnight?
What's Moonnight?
It's the
Is it
new
like
Disney
Morbius?
Plus. He's basically
Is it another-
Marvel's Batman.
Marvel's
He's literally based off
Batman.
I've never heard of this.
Moon Knight.
Moonnight, yeah, it's a Disney Plus show that's going on right now.
I don't have Disney Plus.
I don't either.
Is this the dude in the white jacket?
The white
guy looks
he's
dumb.
white Batman.
This looks so dumb.
That's just strange. Moon Knight. He looks like
I
freaking
don't
Silver
know
Surfer.
what this guy. Does he have powers?
think he has Batman-like powers.
Yeah, he has like literally a
So
batarang.
he's rich?
He's got a batarang.
I don't think he's rich, but he's got batarangs. And
He's
shit
also
like
he's
that.
like a mummy.
Well, if he's not rich, he's not Batman.
Yeah, that's true.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
that's
is
the only
I'm
positive.
I'm on the
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Moon Knight.
Moon
is
Knight.
B tier.
He looks like a Mothman. Moon Knight is a fictional character appearing in rare comic books published by Marvel Comics, created by blah, 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 blah. The son of Rabbi, Mark Spector, serves as a Marine and briefly as a CIA operative before becoming a mercenary alongside his friend Jean-Paul Frenchy Deschamps.
Frenchie.
During a job in Sudan, Spectre is appalled when fellow ruthless mercenary Raoul Bushman attacks and kills archaeologist Dr. Alaran in front of the man's daughter and colleague. Man, this is crazy.
Sounds like I'm interested now.
After fighting Bushman and being left for dead, a mortally wounded Spectre... Oh, he loses. reaches Alaran's recently unearthed tomb and is placed before... he gets powers. Before a statue of the Egyptian moon god Kanushu. Spectre dies, then suddenly revives, fully healed. He claims Kanushu wants him to be the moon's knight, the left fist of Kanushu, redeeming his life of violence by now protecting and avenging the innocent. This is kind of dumb origin story. It is later revealed that Kanushu is real, one of several entities from the other void, a dimension outside normal time and space, once worshipped by ancient Earth people. Huh. Well, this seems like a dumb character.
Well, I'm going to dismiss this character.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, I imagine they're going to introduce the Void people if Moon Knight's becoming a thing to Marvel. But...
Well, you got the Eternals too. So, I mean, you're the Marvel fanboy of all three of us. So
Yeah, you gotta love Moon Knight. Moon Knight's part of the lore.
If Moon Knight becomes a central important character, I'm going to have to figure it out. But I don't. Until
Do
then,
some soul searching.
Until then, I don't need
Can't
to.
wait until...
I hated Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. I refused to watch it.
Really?
Do you guys remember this?
I don't remember you talking about this.
I feel like it was around
I
college. Because you guys were like, oh, Infinity War, or
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch a movie with a talking animal.
It's like, I was like, I'm not a furry,
Okay, no, this
idiot.
does bring back something.
I was so against it. And then one day I watched it with my family because they were like, we got to watch it. And I was like, man, fine, I'll watch it. And then I'm like, dang, that was actually kind of funny.
Well, were you the same way with Thor Ragnarok or no?
No, that one I thought, oh, this is great.
Wait,
Because
It was
that's my
awesome.
favorite Marvel movie.
Ragnarok's
I
awesome.
went in...
Yeah.
Well, and Love and Thunder's coming out soon too.
I'm so excited for that.
I want to say something about the Ragnarok movie. When I went in, I don't know if I told you about this. Did you guys remember what I thought about Ragnarok when it first came out?
I don't
I literally
know.
thought it was like the worst Marvel movie ever because I went into that movie thinking it was gonna be a serious movie, and then like what I don't even know what happened. Like shit just started hitting the fan, and I'm just like literally getting whiplash at like how ridiculous this movie was. And I was like,
my only complaint with that movie is I really wish they would have kept it under wraps that Hulk was going to be in it.
Oh yeah.
If they had like hidden, because he was in the poster or something like that.
it was
And he was
known.
like the trailer.
Yeah, if they have hidden that, it would have been the best reveal of like one of the best reveals of Marvel.
That would have been a
so
pretty good reveal. Yeah, if Hulk was like concealed being in that. But yeah, I mean that movie is a good movie. It is one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion, Ragnarok. But man, gosh, when he like Thor landed on that freaking like planet, and then he was like approached by the Valkyries, and she was like approaching him and just passed out from being like drunk. I'm like, me and my brother,
what am I watching?
Specifically, me and my brother were like dying. Like how like we thought Marvel just was going really low. Like we didn't know it was intended to hit that way. We thought it was just like really bad jokes or something. But then we realized it was all very intentional. We're like, okay, this makes sense. We're very
I just
pleased.
love that movie was all like, or like it was like 80% of it was all just improv, them just fucking around.
Really?
Like,
That's awesome.
yeah,
I didn't
gotta
know
watch
that either.
behind
That's
the scenes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, most of those lines, right? And you can kind of tell in some of them, like they're just bullshitting. And it's
Like,
just great.
what the
like
fuck?
all of, like when like Loki's captured and shit like that, like the whole like snake thing, all improv on all their parts. He's like, what? So
Well,
it's just
I think
it's
that's
really
when-
impressive.
Marvel learned that Chris Hemsworth could be like funny in his own right.
Yeah.
So like, oh, we'll just let you do your own thing. Whereas in the first two movies were very structured.
Right.
Yeah.
And didn't let him do much.
Well, they're like operas, almost space operas.
Yeah. And especially with Thor's a weird character because he's a literal god. So it's they didn't at the time really know how to portray him. Like, how would a god interact with humans? And that's why the first Thor movie kind of sucks. It's not really great because they just didn't understand how that would work.
Yeah, they didn't give him a good spot.
The second Thor was really bad.
The second Thor was not good either, and because it does the exact same thing that the first Thor does, which is have this god character interacting with tiny humans. Whereas once he got into Avengers and then his own movie is when he started being like interacting them kind of normally.
Yeah,
and it became
just being a bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a weird, but it's.
I'm pretty excited, dude. Also, did you see how buff? Did you see the trailer for Love and Thunder?
I haven't seen the trailer.
I would not. I would not
blind.
watch the trailer. I thought they spoiled something in it. Am I wrong?
I think
never
they
want to
kind of
watch
did.
trailers.
But Natalie Portman
is gonna be in it. She
jacked.
returning?
She's jacked, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, not jacked, but she's got buff.
Yeah. That's a spoiler.
I didn't know she was
kind
I
of.
thought
We
she
won't
might
tell you
have
how
come
she's
back,
in it, but she's in it in a way.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm excited to go in, but I don't like to know much when I go into movies because it spoils things too much for me. Like I really like to experience a story for the first time blind, to then generate my own opinions with the full context.
Yeah.
If I just get a trailer or an explanation, I'm like, it feels like something's missing, and then I generate my opinions in the wrong order. I hate that.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Or it like sets your expectations, and I guess I feel that because
Yeah.
like I always like going into movies with low expectations because I usually
same.
enjoy the experience. Whereas when you
Same.
go in with high expectations, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, like that's why I almost feel bad about like saying like, oh, I like the Batman more than that because you're gonna be like,
your
oh, I'm gonna set
expectations
my
are way up here
expectations
now. Yeah.
to The Dark Knight Rises, but obviously,
Well, he's got
it's
two
my-
opinions now to balance it.
Yeah.
So maybe
I'm
it's
going
okay.
in with
What
like
other-
regular
what other opinion?
expectations.
Yeah.
I saw Interstellar knowing
Same.
nothing.
I didn't know anything about that movie.
I saw like a trailer for it, and like 20 seconds in the trailer, I like closed my eyes because I'm like,
no,
I can't experience this. Like I saw like a planet, and then I saw this, shiny thing next to the planet, like clearly some sort of spaceship, but far enough away where I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, I
gotta watch
hear
this.
good music, and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. I need to stop looking.
Save this.
Yep.
This is gonna be great. I just want to see this.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything about it. And I ended up going into it, and it was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, same. It's just went into it even knowing it was gonna be like what it was, and it just blew me away. It was so good. I love movies
I thought
like
it was gonna
that.
I think it was gonna be like an alien story.
Yeah, just a very basic.
based on the 10 seconds I saw.
Yeah.
Completely not that, but it was so good.
So I'm really excited to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once because I really don't know anything about it. I just know it's got something to do with like multiverse in it, and I'm very.
I don't think that's a movie you could even explain. I think you just have to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to see
Do you
it.
have tickets already for it?
We're gonna go. Me and Carly are gonna go see it tonight. I think so.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So
Did you guys ever see Parasite?
yes, it was very very good. I thought it was amazing.
Have you not
No,
seen
I
it,
didn't.
Mike?
The-
You gotta
it's
watch
the
it.
I thought
South
it was-
Korean one, right?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was my favorite movie of the year when it came out by an
of
easy
the year,
margin.
100% my favorite.
It was
movie.
extremely good.
Yeah, that was one of the best, like the most unique stories I had seen in a long time.
Yeah,
Which is really impressive. I
the
think.
story too was like so easy to understand, but then it could go deeper if you like analyze the film more. It was very good on surface level and on a deeper level, I thought, and I loved that. I loved how easy it was to digest.
Well, it's also a film where you can, as you're watching it, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like
A lot of shows you can be like, or movies like, I know what's going to happen in this. I know. I've seen a lot of movies like where they have this is the conflict, there's the resolution, and the climax at the end. I know what's going to happen, or generally about what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
With Parasite, I did not know the next
next things.
point in the movie. I didn't know what was going to happen, and that was
All the
really
twists were,
impressive
like-
to do.
Yeah, they're very innovative or unique. They just they do a very good job with that kind of stuff. So yeah, Mike, if you can,
highly
watch it.
recommend, Michael. You got to check it out.
Yeah,
All right, I'll have to see if I can acquire it some way.
I'm sure it's on Netflix at this point.
I think I watched it on HBO Max. Honestly, I don't know if you have HBO Max, but I think that's why I
I've
watched
got
it.
Prime, Hulu, and the only ones I don't have are Disney Plus and, Disney Plus and HBO.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you'll do okay. I think
Dude,
it's on somewhere.
That's an entirely different story. Is like, so this whole cable cutting movement, right?
Oh
like,
man,
I was 100% on board with it, and now it's just become another
it's going back to cable.
where it's like, oh, I need to buy X channel, right? And you end up spending like, it's like $15 a month for like each of these subs, right?
Well, it's like when you decide what kind of game console you're going to get.
But there's now like
There's some
6.
games you're not going to play because or I'm not going to play because I don't have a PS5 or a PlayStation, And there's some games PlayStation people are never going to play because they don't have an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing now is true with content. Like there's shows that I'll never see because I don't have Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
You just got to kind of choose your ecosystem now, and it's kind of weird. But I do like it because it's easier to move. Because even if you had cable,
Yeah. You're stuck.
it's hard to change cable providers, but it's
Yeah.
easy to change subscription
Well,
services.
In a lot of ways,
So
you
that
can't,
is-
like a lot of places, like you can't change cable providers.
and that's the thing. And it's like, at least with subscription services, while there is now a subscription overload, there's so many different subscription services, and they all have their own shows, and all blah, blah. There's a bit of an overload with that, but I can still buy a month and then cancel it. It's just you have to remember to do that. So,
Or you have 30-minute email or 5-minute email. Sign up for that 30-day free trial, and you're gold every time.
Do that once a month.
Do that once a month.
Set up like an hour or two a day, or hour or two once a month.
Yeah.
And then you just like set up a new subscription. Yeah.
that's a lot of work, though.
It is, but you
It
can do
is.
it. The fact that you can do it, it is kind of nice. I don't endorse this. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for like saying you can do that, but I don't endorse doing that. It's fraud in some way, I believe.
Yeah, it's technically kind of, yeah.
I don't know. Well, now you can share services so much.
Yeah.
Like Colton, you said you shared your YouTube service. My parents pay for Netflix, and I use that occasionally. But for the most part, like you can split the costs in a lot of ways, which is nice.
It's true. That's really true. Yeah.
Now they're trying to put an end to that, though. They wanna stop this password sharing for all these services.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that won't happen.
You want to know what I think is going to happen? We're all going to be in the metaverse, right? We're all going to be trying to watch movies with our friends, right? 10 of us in the same movie theater. All right, we all get in a room together, right? We're all going to watch this movie. All right, what we have to do is that the person sets up the thing, but we all individually have to pay for the movie. That's how they're going to get you.
Oof.
And then I
can see that.
4 out of the 10 people can start playing the movie, but the screen's black for anyone who doesn't pay for it. That's
I mean, that's what happens nowadays with movie theaters. If you didn't pay to see the movie, you can't watch
well,
it.
yeah, but now it's just virtual. It's not even actually going to I don't even get the popcorn commodity.
You
No,
get
I mean, you
virtual
probably get virtual popcorn.
Yeah, you could throw tomatoes if you want virtually, but
Actually, that was pretty fun. We did the big screen in VR one time, a couple times actually. I forget which show we were watching, but yeah, where you'd pull up the pull up your screen on that and then play it. I actually thought that was a
Honestly, it
pretty
would
fun
probably
experience.
work a
still do
lot
it.
better now because I have way better internet.
I still watch.
It might be worth trying again.
I watch shows on my Oculus every once in a while. It's actually very fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you have the headphones on, and if you are just sitting in one spot and you're just watching a movie, like I'd watch Dune like that, in an Oculus environment.
Dune would be pretty
where
dope.
it'd be kind of like
No, because you can't get the crystal clear
But it
quality that you would normally.
It looks crystal clear though because it's like a theater screen, not a.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
it is.
Honestly,
Try it. It's real.
No. The quality on that is pretty
It's
good.
real.
Because it's like it looks further away, so it's not like pixelated. It's like a real theater screen right there.
but there's still a physical pixel density in your eyes that is less.
You
than
can't
what
tell when it's
is
that
actually
far
there.
away.
I can.
Oh, I don't
Well,
know, Sean.
I guess you've got specialized there, Sean.
My special eyes.
Eagle eyes.
My brand.
My brand.
But for a lot of things, like a lot of content, it doesn't matter. Like anime, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're watching anime at 480p, it doesn't really matter.
Man, you need Sean.
yeah.
Well, I want. Never mind.
Well, all anime is 1080p anyway. Like you can't go higher than 1080p.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true.
There's only like a handful of things that have ever been made higher than that within the animation world.
And it's like diminishing returns at some
I
rate.
so wish Arcane was 4K.
Oh,
right.
that would be so
1080p.
good. Do you run into like texture
Yeah,
issues though with that? Like it's like so clear, then it starts to look like an alpha project or something like that. If it's too
Yeah.
crisp.
Did you guys watch the thing that I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
The
Animators
VFX
react-
breakdown of Arcane?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I want to now.
So a lot of the effects in that show are hand drawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're 2D. They're
Oh, like 2D
planners.
2D hand
like
drawn.
Jinx's
So really-
stuff that happens over her mental breakdowns.
Or her hair movement is hand
Really?
animated a lot of times.
It's like
Or
an
like
actual
the,
painting. Holy crap!
The sparks, all the sparks.
Most
Speaking
of
of
the
paintings,
backgrounds
yep,
are
they're
paintings.
literally
Oh.
matte paintings.
That's cool. Oh, that's really cool.
You said a power
Like had
outage?
a power
And,
surge or something.
Yeah, and the fact that it's like that means you could scale it up to 4K. I wonder what the reason they didn't go for that was.
Was
but,
it maybe just Netflix streaming? Although you can stream 4K on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe it was
yeah, there might have been some other technical limitation, but it's possible. So like
Yeah.
to do that.
That plus FLAC audio. Speaking of, I did find some FLAC stuff when you're talking about that. The FLAC audio. Oh my gosh, you're right. There's a huge difference. I found it was Ashes of the Fire FLAC. That was which is Attack on Titan's fourth season part 2 opening.
Sure, I have all.
Oh,
of them.
the Sid.
Yeah.
Sid's opening.
Which one?
You said the opening for Attack on Titan Part 2 final season?
Yeah.
It's the band Sid or something. That's like their name.
Oh really?
Oh, was it part 2 or maybe even part 1? It was whatever the one that it's like the song that plays when Reiner and the Beast Titan. No, it's not an opening. It's the one where the Beast Titan and Reiner attack the fort.
Oh, okay.
In yeah.
So it's okay. Yep.
This is a dope
Regardless.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. The FLAC
The
audio is
quality
amazing.
is awesome. And then and then you're now you get into like this competing environment, which is like my audio source is now better than what my speakers can produce. So
Now
now
you
I
gotta
have to
spend
get better speakers than what my sound can produce.
Gotta maximize
but then
quality.
since I have better speakers, I can get better sound quality.
Yeah. I get that a bit now, Sean. So I was helping my dad set up surround sound. He's got 2 old surround sound systems that we're deciding upon, right? So we set up both of them and like tried them out. And there's a huge difference between them. And I was like, originally I'm like, they'll probably be roughly the same. There's like one's like, it was like a Sony, and then one was like a Samsung.
Yeah.
And yeah, tried that. And I was like, whoa, the Sony, spoiler alert, was the much better one. So I helped him get that set up.
What was better about it?
Just the quality level. Well, the Samsung didn't only had like for like the surround bits had only singular speakers, whereas the Sony's had the 2, like the high, like the high and the low. Like,
Sure, yeah.
You know, the big one, the small one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Usually
know
a
what the fuck I'm
tweeter. A
talking about.
tweeter's the small one.
So
and, like,
tweeter-
just
Yeah, and it had bigger sub too. The sub was about twice the size.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
It's
bigger
a
and thicker.
It's a difference. I tell you, there's certain things where it's really nice to have that quality bump, and then when you learn that a higher quality exists, it's
And
hard
you
to
can
go
pick
back.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You realize what you're missing. It's like going to 120 hertz refresh rate, then going back to 60 and like, this
Dude,
is
that's why I'm not.
frame
I'm
rate.
not
There you
doing
go.
that. The like right now my monitor is 70, and like I'm really afraid to like get anything higher because
Oh,
although-
you'll need the
120.
GPU to push it if you
well,
if
exactly
you go
yeah.
higher. Yeah.
Well, there was one monitor I really want to get. It was like a Dell, and it was like relatively inexpensive, but it's got a 120 or 144 base, and then it was 2K, and I was like, and it was like $300. I'm like,
Oh, that
Dude,
sounds great. That sounds like a great
Send me the
deal.
link, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really good deal.
Was it 27 inches?
It was an 27 IPS and with a slightly curved screen to it.
That kills it for me. Never mind.
Oh,
I don't
the
like
curved
the curved.
screen. Oh, I like a gentle, just a gentle curve is really
curves
nice.
Are great. I like curves.
Yeah,
Curves.
because it matches like with your eye line, right? Because then when you're like looking somewhere, it was like a slight curve.
but
like
if you have IPS, it doesn't matter because that's a greater viewing angle than regular.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
IPS allows for a greater view. Like normally, you can only view like this, right, from a screen. But an IPS will allow you to view from a greater angle, so anything still looks normal. You know, you have the discoloration in the screen if you turn to touch. That doesn't happen with an IPS monitor. So both of my monitors are IPS, so I can see them normally from various angles. Now, you could argue with a curved screen, you're getting more of a perceptual difference in screen real estate because of the curved nature that you're talking about.
It's because, I mean, it's essentially, right, is that how you'd think, like, especially high FOV, right? I always play, like, when I'm playing Apex, I'm at 105, I think, is my FOV. Like, so a wider screen maximizes the FOV, so you've got actually a better
point of view.
Yeah, and so, like, things are, like, if you have a bigger, like, I was playing a 24-inch, now I've got a 27 that I bought, and that's actually a lot nicer. But so you, like, you know, obviously it's the same pixel density as before, but I think that the curve just, I don't know,
but a better experience for you would argue.
Yeah. It adds something. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi that I can't put into words, evidently.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the really big curved. Maybe like a small curved would be okay, like a 27, but like a 32 plus is too much.
Or like the ultra wide type curve. I know you've got one of those.
I
right?
like the ultra wides are like so good. You get 2 ultra wides, then you're alpha male.
Stacked on top of each other?
No, side to side. Then you're alpha male. Alpha gamer.
You get like a full, like, what would that be, like a, like, you know
what you do?
120 degree.
Yeah.
You get 2 ultra wides stacked on top of each other, and then you get 2 27 inches portrait on either side.
Oh, is that like, that's gonna hurt my neck if I'm like doing spreadsheets? I'm just like turning. Oh yes.
No, because you have email in one, you've got like Teams on the other portrait, and you've got whatever the fuck you're working on inside, and you've got your Spotify or whatever you're listening to up top.
I got a whole monitor for Spotify. That's optimized right there.
Absolutely,
that's maximizing. Dude.
Yeah, you put. See, I'm the type of person. I need as many monitors.
Way to circle back.
Yeah.
I prefer like 3 monitors because I want something like, especially with work.
Yeah.
I want something dedicated to email, so I don't have to like open up email. And
That's
stuff like
true.
That. It's like I can just look at it. Oh, hey, new email came in. Read it, reply if need be, and then go back to working.
At work, I do the multiple desktop option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Windows 10, so you would do Windows key and like control and then an arrow key, and it switches your desktop over to another virtual desktop.
What the heck?
Macs do that.
So I didn't know that was a thing.
Macs do that as well. Macs do it better, but
actually Windows 11. Try Windows 11.
Windows 11
so
is good.
I'm testing it right now. I don't like a lot of things.
It's good because it's more
Windows
like
11.
Mac.
It's got the icons in the center now.
In a way, it's
like
is
Mac.
because the desktop mode in that is more similar to Mac, and it's just a little more streamlined. It works better. I've been testing it out, and it's been working a lot better. Like I've been basically doing where I have my like right now I only have one screen at home, and I've been trying that out with my Windows 11 from work. Obviously, we're 2 years down the line, we're actually going to implement Windows 11 or whatever we can, right? But
I mean, now that Windows is finally catching up to Mac, it makes more sense that it'd be enjoyable to use. But
yeah,
what's nice about the Mac version in particular is you can view individual screens, for example,
and
so
the gestures. The
gestures are far superior.
Yeah.
But with Windows, it's very easy to do the Windows key control and move over, and that definitely gets the job done. And that lets me have like Teams and email, and then switch over and do whatever I was working on.
Windows 11 on a laptop, you can use the gestures, like the 3 or 4 fingers.
Yeah,
you can, but they're clunky.
Not as
Windows 11 does it a lot better this time.
Okay, good.
That's the only thing I can say positive Windows 11. There's a lot of shit it does wrong, but that's on a very somewhat technical as well as just UX.
Getting into
design.
IT, IT discussions.
This is the Magic Touchpad that like the first generation from Apple, I cannot get rid of this thing because of how useful it is on a Mac.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The gesture just works so
You've
well.
always used that thing. It's like a touchpad thing. It's like a big touchpad for a desktop user, right? That's essentially its design. Yeah. And like you can.
I have a mouse on one side and that the other, and I use that really to scroll. Sometimes move around and then just gestures. It's so much easier.
Yeah,
like frankly,
basically, yeah.
Even though like I work in IT and I hate on Macs, like Macs, if you're in a non-enterprise environment, I would get a Mac laptop over a Windows machine just because of they are really easy to use, very functional. Shit, like I had helped my mom with a computer. She had a really old computer that I'm like, I'm gonna get it working. I basically set it up with Ubuntu and then I just replicated a lot of the Mac like settings on there with panels and such. It was Xubuntu. So I used a different desktop window manager. That's a very technical thing, but yeah, not very technical, but
I just felt my eyes glaze over.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 But I basically emulated a very similar Mac experience because it just is so much the UI. Like Mac went in all on the user development and like the user experience versus Windows was a lot more on the technical side. And I mean, yeah,
it just happens.
It does. Yeah. All right. Got into the 5-minute IT rant.
Technology's getting better. Silicon's getting better, smaller, and we continue getting faster.
We're actually hitting a precipice on that.
Pretty soon, I will be the machine.
So we won't
That's a subject we've already covered.
This is a random thought. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna go too far into this, but I've thought of an amazing fan fiction for Sword Art Online. It's probably already been written. I've been thinking about this recently. I was like, dude, I thought of a fan fiction for Sword Art Online, and fan
fiction Sword Art Online,
like an alternate storyline, like. Yeah, or maybe it's just a Matrix. Maybe it's like Matrix: The Beginnings. That's the plot of this storyline. It's when you start like this is probably already a main theme in the show. It's like when you're so ingrained in the metaverse that the AI starts becoming a little bit more self-aware, but then like the self-aware AI, people start like actually bonding with the AI, like the self-aware AI. And like people actually start.
This is kind of the plot of Alicization.
Okay, there's got to be a legitimate like plot point already out there, probably in multiple sources. But like then it's like a revolution because the AI wants to overthrow the human race. But then it's like this weird dichotomy because like the human race is already like has these attached feelings with the AI, so they're like fighting each other. And I was like, that's a good Sword Art Online.
All right,
plot.
not that part, but the Alicization arc has basically simulated souls. Like a world that has simulated people, but they're born from, they're born and then they age normally.
Huh.
But you can simulate the universe really quickly. So like by the time they go into it, it's like been around for like 400 years. And then I think Kirito spends like 10 years in it or something like that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And it's only like a couple days in the real world.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Give me that.
But they're all like real people,
yeah.
Because they grew up and they're actual souls.
That's like it's like an alternate ending to Sword Art Online. It's like the AI and it's like just go further with that concept where the AI tries to overthrow the humans.
It might be the next series. I actually have the next light novel, so I'll see what happens in the next arc. I haven't read it yet.
Cool.
Good luck.
All right. Well, I think this has been almost a podcast.
One day we'll get there. Maybe we'll maximize someday.
One day we'll be machines.
We'll hit our maximum potential.
Yeah. If you're maximizers, please visit us on our Twitch as well. We stream every week. We are streaming Sea of Thieves right now, and we're maximizing our pirate adventures, so that's a very fun time.
Maximizing.
So yeah.
We're living the pirate's life.
Yep. Living the pirate's life. Like, follow, subscribe, maximize your love for Almost a Podcast, and
we
will maximize our love for you.
Whatever podcasting platform you use.
Yeah.
Like us.
And leave comments on our videos. We've been seeing some of your comments come up, and it's really awesome to hear that feedback and hearing your guys' opinions. So thank you so much for that.
We love all of you so much and so dearly.
I'm doing finger guns. You can't.
And I'm doing jazz hands because I'm jazzing right now. I'm just full of jazz. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna end this.